Good. Um, yeah, all of these come from either the 30-30 this year or the 12-22. Writing to prompts is one of those things that I just find it fun to find out what I have to say about something I didn't know I had anything to say about yesterday. The first poem is from the first challenge in the 30-30 challenge this year. It was to essentially riff on Emily Dickinson, find a word, a line, a phrase, a theme, an element of style, and write a response. So I'm responding to, I heard a fly buzz when I died, and mixing in a little bit from the line, I dwell in possibility. I heard a fly buzz while I sat, desperate, alone, dying for inspiration. Stupid bug, I mused, can't you see I'm busy here? Then this saving thought, can this too be the sound of possibility? What music, what songs might be in these incessant interruptions of a fly? The second poem is, the prompt was to take a line that you like from a poem or some other source and use the words in that line as the first words in a poem, line by line. So I took the line from Mary Oliver, imagination is better than a sharp instrument. Imagination is hard to start up, is harder yet to pin down. Better than certainty, than hard clarity, a wandering, not always sharp, wondering instrument, forgetting somewhere. This third one was from last week, I think. The prompt was to write a curtal sonnet, a style developed by Gerard Manley Hopkins. Instead of 8 and 6, it's 6 and 4.5 lines, sort of 3/4 of a traditional sonnet. This one I call The Trick in This. This is another of those sleepless nights. This night the moon reaches for this month's full. A night as well of dense, obscuring cloud. A time for easy joy, nights the moon glows bright. But a moonless night, when the bright is dulled, destroys the mood for hopeful song and loud. Then this coyote thought arrives and thrives. Such nights intrude on rest, but dimmed down rooms like this provide prime place to howl. Seize this space, go wild. Call on the moon above the gloom. Celebrate in grace. This was a poem from the March 12-22 challenge. Gary and I are alternating month by month, putting up prompts for people in that challenge. This one's called I Wonder, and each stanza is one line longer than the one before it. I wonder endlessly. I wonder, seek some way to keep the faith with some process that stills inner wrath. I wonder, inhale, try to control the lizard, exhale, wonder still. I wonder late into sleepless nights at how light curtains light the uncountable stars of my childhood, now bright blocked from sight. I wonder, inhale, try to control the lizard that gnaws away peace, stirs the cauldron deep within, muddies the mind, denies rest. I wonder, let my mind seek freedom, wander clouds under blue skies, stars lost in the night, things passing, things hidden from sight, all manner of matter to ponder. Is there a pattern that orders all this? Some key for revealing all I have missed? And of late, I wonder at the kind of mind that threatens the peace of all for the perverted glory of its own mad aggrandizement. The Wheatago kind of mind that feels only its own gnawing appetite. a lizard appetite that gnaws all the more with each feeding. Endlessly, I wonder. And this fifth one, which I think will be the last one, it started with Gary Garrison's prompt to write about pilgrimage in April, April being a month for pilgrimage. And it combined with the 30-30 prompt on April 22nd to use a poem that uses a lot of repetition. So I wrote in a pantoum style. It's a poem where every line repeats somewhere over the pattern of the poem. It's called What Strange Pilgrimage. What strange pilgrimage, this wandering present? What lonely, prayerful progression? What holy hymning? What penance, intent? What uncertain stroll through contrition? What lonely, prayerful progression? What songs or stories of praise? What uncertain stroll through contrition? What worry what the Holy Book says? What songs or stories of praise? What throats parched and breathless, hearts faint? What worry what the Holy Book says? What steps, what stumbles taken in faith? What throats parched and breathless, hearts faint? What holy hymning? What penance intent? What steps, what stumbles taken in faith? What strange pilgrimage, this wandering present? Can you tell me, how am I doing for time? I got one more I could do.
Yeah, you do. You have time.
Okay, great. This is actually from last year's 30-30. The prompt was to write a poem that would be the text of a news report you would love to read in your morning paper or hear on the morning news. So it's called Elsewhere in the News. We end this broadcast with reports there has been a surprise result from a secret Zoom meeting of the wealthy and powerful, gathered initially to calculate how best to compete for what's left of planet Earth. We realized there simply wasn't enough to continue fighting over, said organizers. We blinked. We finally had to admit our idea of enough was way too much for the world to sustain, and it was time to retire for the good of us all. Reporters asked for clarification of us, since it sounded suspiciously like a classic too good to be true. And we're told it's simple. Since we few already had it all and still wanted more and had only each other to take it from, nothing to do with it once we had it, the fun had gone out of rapacious greed. So we decided it might be fun to try something new and share the wealth. We think it's called generosity, but are still looking into that for our final communique. So us, reporters pursued, is no code word for the few at the top of the pyramid they have built of and for themselves. No, the spokesman replied. It was just getting too lonely at the top. So we decided to come back to common ground and admit we are a part of the human race after all. One observer said it sounded like common sense had become more than a vague cover metaphor for an unenlightened self-interest. And commonwealth had emerged as a true new world order. Fears that this might be temporary insanity, an aberration brought on by something in the water, were soon put to rest, since participants had been scattered all over the globe, linked in from homes and offices under tight scrutiny. Evidence from a pirated recording of the sessions further seems to confirm the surprise announcement. They all started to sing Kumbaya without irony, reporters announced, unable to hide their shock, while editors around the world wondered how to fill future front pages or head future broadcasts with good news for a change. Thank you.